This is Jake Contrast recording for my communications project, and I will be interviewing Aaron Fuentes. So I will be discussing the life of two different backgrounds and how it affected relationship and what struggles were there, if any, and as well how they dealt with self. So Aaron, question one. When did you first know you were different?
Probably when I was 15 or 16.
Okay. And what were your first thoughts when you had consciousness of your difference?
That they weren't normal.
And what did you do to, how did you act on it?
I didn't for many years.
Did you look at boys in any way? Were you very different from your boyfriend, like your friends as far as boys?
I don't think so, but I started to feel attraction toward other boys.
And as well, with your childhood, how was it like with these differences without anyone knowing? Did you have to act a certain way?
I don't think I acted a certain way. I think that I just kept it quiet. But I had plenty of friends, and I years later I still have those friends.
Did any of the friends that you had back then, when you did tell them, kind of show some, not disgust, but make a face or stop talking to you because of it?
I'm very fortunate, no.
And then as well with your parents, do you know if your parents try to correct you or tell you how to act?
Never.
No?
Never.
And then as well, how did your parents know you were gay? Did they come to you or did you come to them?
It was kind of a mutual. They knew already. We actually were talking and we were having some drinks, and I felt very comfortable in talking with them, and I told them, and they said we know, and they hugged me, and that was how I came out to my parents.
And then as well, later in life, how were your relationships like, and then as well bringing them with family?
Kind of explain the question one more time.
With your family, so when you did have one of a partner that you did want to introduce to your family, how were their reactions?
Fine. Their reactions were good. I was particular on who I brought home to my parents because I wanted to make sure that if I was bringing somebody home, it was somebody that I wanted them to meet, somebody that I would hope that they thought was good for me.
And then, since you are going to be getting married this weekend,
Yes, I am.
What were your first thoughts on Chris when you first met him?
I met him kind of on a blind date. Not really. We met online. So first time we met in a public spot was at Disneyland, and I really, really liked him. He was very sweet, and we hit it off that first evening, and we had a really good time at the park. And we had a second date shortly thereafter, and a third, and a fourth, and now we are almost 5.5 or 6 years later getting married today.
Awesome. And then as well, throughout the relationship, did you find any struggles because of the different backgrounds you guys had?
No, I think that there are some family struggles, not with my immediate family, but with some.
Alrighty, so with the start of your guys' relationships, because of the two different backgrounds, were there any struggles that you found with them?
Not really. I'd experienced some maybe a little bit of pushback with some of my aunts and uncles, and then Chris he's had some pushback with some of his more immediate family, but that hasn't affected our relationship whatsoever.
Okay, and then as well, so at the beginning of your guys' relationships, did Chris show any signs of, with his family not wanting to introduce you, or did he ever kind of just explain to you why he didn't at first or anything like that, as far as you did?
From what I can remember, he did explain to me, and I understood, and we had decided to take that slow.
So this is Chris, and I will be interviewing him. So I will be discussing the life of two different
different. I would say like when I was like 5 or 6 years old, because the way that I would walk around or talk was very different from other boys. So it definitely had to do with like gender, because I didn't like, everyone told me to act like a boy, but I didn't know what that really meant. And I just couldn't, you know, like I just was sort of like myself when I was growing up. So that's how I knew it was different, like right then, like 5 or 6, I would say.
Alrighty. And then as well, what were your first thoughts when you had consciousness of your difference? So what did you think?
Oh, I love that question. Consciousness of my difference. How old was I? Or how did I know?
How old were you, and then what were your first thoughts? So like, what did you think of yourself?
Oh, I would say like when I was like 6 years old, 5, 6 years old, and like I didn't like the traditional sports that they played in PE. Like I could care less about baseball, you know. And I knew that I was different in PE at school, because all the boys were into like this stuff that I just was not into, you know. And most of my friends were girls, and I'd want to be around the girls all the time. You know, I got teased for that. And how did it make me feel? It just made me feel really weird. Like, it made me feel like there was something wrong with me. Like, why wasn't I like other boys? You know?
Yeah.
That's how I felt at like 6.
Okay. Alrighty. And then as well, question number 2A. So was it hard socializing or making friends, knowing your difference or being gay?
Well, I wasn't conscious of being gay, but I was conscious of being different.
Yes.
When I was a kid. And it wasn't difficult making friends, because, I don't know, I had really good friends who liked me for who I was, you know? And they just all happened to be girls, and that's sort of still the case. You know, most of my friends are women, you know?
Yeah.
I benefited from the sisterhood.
Alright.
They took care of me, and they defended me. They didn't take crap from anybody. So they also defended me in the playground.
That is what you need. Okay, so question number 3. So do you know if your parents tried to correct you or tell you how to act?
Oh yeah, like every day. My dad would tell me to act like a boy. My mom would tell me to I walk around like this all the time sometimes. Okay. And she would slap my hand sometimes if I did that when I was a kid, but it was so natural to me. Yeah. But if you do that, typically girls are socialized to move around like that, right? So I did that, and every day they reminded me to act like a boy.
So question number 4 is, how did your parents know you were gay, or how did they find out?
I like to say that I've come out to my parents 17 times. Each time they were in denial. But the first time I quote unquote came out, or it came out, was in college. I'd written this paper about being gay. And it was still in my summer, and my mom was helping me, and she found the paper. And we had to talk about it. And it was a very weird, surreal experience, because it wasn't on my terms, you know?
Yeah.
It was just found out, and it didn't feel good, you know? And, you know, it was we had the conversation, it was very awkward, and then we never talked about it again for several years.
Okay, question number 6 is going to be, so what were your first thoughts on Aaron?
Well, I thought he was the most loving person I ever met, and I thought he was very handsome, and I thought he was very nice and just kind and really cute and really interesting, and he made me laugh, and I just thought he was the total package. It's nice.
Alrighty.
It's nice. That was good.
And last question. How was your relationship at first, and were there any differences because of your backgrounds?
Oh, that's interesting. How was our relationship at first?
Yes.
Well, in a way, we come from different worlds, but in a way we're very similar. I think that's every couple. I come from a world of nerds and statisticians. He comes from the healthcare industry, so professionally we're really different. But what bonded us together? We're both educators. We both have a teacher's heart, and we both have that same vision of what we want to do for our careers. And it's it goes beyond our professional lives. That's our personality characteristics and like I would say like background. But there's a lot of shared understanding. Like he gets a lot of Filipino stuff, you know. I don't have to
Yes.
explain that much. So, yeah.
Okay. And then as well, that concludes my interview with my gay parents. Thank you guys very much, and I love you both. And today's
Love
the
you
wedding
too.
day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye, class.
Bye.